So who is Omega and why is she so important to the Bad Batch story? It's time for another theory, so let's jump in. So spoilers for the Bad Batch episode 1 if you have not seen it. With the introduction of Omega and her joining the Bad Batch on their adventures, a lot of questions are raised as to her importance, who she is, and her origin.
Adolescent human female. Origins uncertain.
And just everything about her. A lot of people are tossing around speculations as to whether or not she is force sensitive or has precognitive abilities, and of course, what is her role and involvement in the larger story. So here's what I think is going on with Omega. The backdrop of Omega's story is Order 66 and the activation of the inhibitor chips. When she talks to Hunter specifically, she talks about how there's something wrong with the Camino facility and warns him not to return. And since she's an assistant to Nala Se, we can infer this is how she knows this insider information. But we also have to consider that Omega's story runs in tandem with Tarkin's story. Tarkin is talking to Lama Su about the effectiveness of the Camino facility and the cloning program. He's talking about transitioning into conscription and questions whether or not the clones are effective anymore. They've lost their personality, their creativity, and the program's upkeep is just way too expensive, especially since the Clone War is finally over. With that in mind, Lama Su and Nala Se are seemingly on the verge of flipping loyalties, and I think Omega was born out of this concern. My theory is that Omega is a clone that was engineered as an amalgamation of all of the Bad Batch's best traits.
How many of these enhanced clones do you possess?
5 are all that remain.
Mental faculty, tracking, marksmanship, strength, and of course individuality and creativity. She is the proverbial fruit of their labors. And given the fact that the Empire is cracking down on the Camino facility, this is why we see that Nala Se is helping the Bad Batch escape and also helping Omega escape with them. And upon their escape, they ask, hey, how did you know how to shoot that blaster? And she says, I don't know, maybe I was just luck. And this is where the force sensitivity comes in. But I have to say, not everybody in a Star Wars show has to be force sensitive. But I do think that she largely has all of the best traits of the Bad Batch. My theory continues on to Palpatine. We know in the Aftermath books that Palpatine has a contingency. And we know in the Vader 2020 comics that he's been dabbling in cloning, strand casts, all kinds of Sith alchemy to prepare for his inevitable demise, or the prevention of said demise. I think Palpatine is going to find out about Omega and her abilities, and he's going to seek her out as his first test subject as a strand cast and a vessel for his essence transfer. And this is the start of his larger experiments into cloning and strand casts. And that dovetails into Grogu and all of that good stuff. So this is where the Bad Batch comes in, trying to protect her and try to keep her safe. Of course, I think we're going to find out that Omega is not force sensitive and that she's not going to be a suitable vessel for Palpatine's essence. And since she's no longer of use to the Empire, they're going to end up tracking her down and trying to kill her. And so the crux of this story is that the Bad Batch is tasked with protecting her. But of course, that's just a theory. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know what your theories are as to who Omega is. Let's get that conversation rolling. But that'll do it for this theory video. If you enjoyed it or if you think my theory is plausible, leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and of course hit the bell notification so you know when I post new videos. But that is the end. On to the next one. We are all the Republic, for light and life, and may the Force be with you.